Hey everybody, and welcome to Let's Look at Wasted, a post-apocalyptic pub crawler. This is a little bit different of a normal Let's Look at because this is not a game that is available right now for purchase or a game that's coming out in the very, very near future. This is actually an opportunity that was floated to us by Adult Swim to kind of pseudo-unveil this game. They're unveiling it proper at PAX South this Friday or this Saturday, I believe. So this might be kind of a scoop. And what this is a little bit of Fallout. You can probably get that from the vibe that you've got going on, at least for the radiation and the people dressed up in, like, you know, plates that are glued to their shoulder pads and stuff like that. A little bit of the Binding of Isaac. There's a little, like, dungeon crawly type stuff, a little Tower of Guns, and a little bit of Borderlands as well with kind of the art style that's going on. It's basically like a normal RPG that also has kind of layers of dungeon crawling inside of it. It's a little bit of a loot fest as well, so maybe throw in, I guess the Borderlands one fits there. We're just going to start playing here, and we're going to continue. I played about an hour of this so far, and I'll do my best to explain just what the heck is going on here. I also want to see if it's super loud. There is basically no sound at all. I think I've made it too quiet here. Restore defaults, yes. This is a work in progress, so you might encounter a little bug from time to time. Wait a second here. There we go. Now we've got sound effects. All right. That's going to happen from time to time. All right, let me try to explain what the heck is going on here. Basically, we live in a post-apocalyptic world right now. I wanted to make sure there was music because the music is actually really good. Basically, the United States fired nuclear missiles at Russia, who fired nuclear missiles at China, who fired nuclear missiles at the United States, and, you know, here we are in this post-apocalyptic world. There were all these vaults made, which may sound familiar to you if you've played a certain RPG franchise, but everything in every vault basically went wrong, but they hold the most important resource of all. Alcohol, and the alcohol has become irradiated in such a way that it gives your character permanent statistical changes that can be good or bad. So like the micro level of gameplay is that it's a first-person shooter / RPG. You go into these dungeons, and periodically, every 2 or 3 floors, you'll encounter some alcohol, which is represented by that right there, and you'll have the opportunity to choose to drink it or to choose to risk all of the loot that you've got so far and try to go further to get another permanent stat boost that's better in the future. There's a lot of Fallout-y type stuff here, like, you know, we have can openers instead of lock picks, and let me see what my inventory has right now. Got some medicine, which heals us, a side-slung fanny pack, which gives us the ability to hold more options, and .9er is just a pistol, but I do have a stash that contains other stuff, but I've chosen not to run with it. Let's run with some armor, though, because I want to keep it here to sell it for later, and we may need some of these items for quests later throughout the game as well, but for now, let's go do a little bit of dungeon crawling, and then I'll explain the kind of RPG elements that are going on. There's also a day-night cycle. By the way, the reason the music is quite 80s inspired is because there is, when it happened in the 1980s, the nuclear war that is, the culture kind of got permanently stuck here, which gives it a nice kind of interesting vibe. The music is actually really good. All right, let's throw that into space. There it goes. We'll drive, and we'll go to Cooler CA1. The coolers are basically the vaults, and we will go inside of here to do a little dungeon crawling and hopefully pick up some beautiful rewards once it loads in here. I think I may need to lower the volume a lot. Actually, once we get in, hopefully this won't affect it too much, but I had it set perfectly, and then it didn't work inside of our house. I think we just needed to reload, though. Okay, hopefully that's not too quiet then. Sure. All right. Back. Resume game. Let's do it. Alright, so as of right now, I only have access to Cooler CA1, but presumably throughout the full release of the game, you'll have the opportunity to pick up more coolers later. There are computers that sometimes you can either hack or you can glean some information from. Look, I know people are going to be like, oh, it's Fallout, it's a ripoff of Fallout. I don't see it as a ripoff. It's heavily inspired by New Vegas in particular, but, you know, New Vegas also came out like 6 years ago. I think it's more of like a loving homage, at least so far. By the way, there are couriers in the game that we'll see as well. So we're going in here, loot the weapon box. You only have a very limited amount of space that you can actually hold stuff in, which is why I took this side-slung fanny pack. The currency, by the way, is toilet paper. Look, it wears its kind of immaturity on its sleeve. But what's kind of interesting, oh, pardon me. What's interesting is that I played this at PAX Prime, and it was very early on in the game, and I was like, well, it's got this cool kind of like first-person layer, but I had no idea that it was so ambitious. Bum bag. +3 carry limit. Yeah, we'll take that and see if we can put that on at the same time. We do need to take scalps. I'll explain what's going on with this Indix Shadow here. There's a little bit of jazz punky kind of stuff going on with this game as well. But I had no idea there was this really ambitious, like, real RPG layer going on in the background. Like, it is very Fallout-y in the way that you interact with NPCs and they give you side quests that you can actually do within the dungeon here. So, we don't need any of this stuff here. Okay, let's put on the bum bag, assuming we actually can. And I'll talk a little bit about our side quests that we've got going on so you guys can actually understand. Good, we can equip both of them. Now we can hold 16 items, which is very, very useful. So, I think with J, I can open up my journal. Right now I have a couple of quests. I've done the tutorial, I've done the Oni Express, but we have Indix Shadow. Kissenjerk, a mutant appendage growing on the groin of a man named Dick, has requested you collect 25 scalps off of dead wasters in order to help fashion him a wig. Hopefully we'll be able to do so during this dungeon crawl specifically, and then we can see how the quest ends so you can see the dialogue. But basically, we met Richard Nixon, only his penis had morphed into Henry Kissinger, his former Secretary of State and noted diplomat. And Henry Kissinger is like, man, which is Kissenjerk in this situation, he's like, man, this is okay, but I'm tired of being bald. Can you scalp, like, 25 raiders, and then that will allow me to actually have a wig that I can wear? So this is the kind of tone you're getting yourself into here, but it does give you kind of like a static objective to look for inside of the dungeon, instead of just your objectives on the dungeon being intrinsically motivated. Like, hey, I've got to get, or sorry, extrinsically motivated, I guess. Like, hey, I've got to get better loot so I can do better next time. Explore Cooler CA1 is where we are right now. And you've decided to help Eddie Plunk with his duck problem. Find Asuka somewhere in Cooler CA1's dormitories. I think Asuka might be a body pillow that he has created based on the dialogue that we shared together. So the reason I said it was one part Binding of Isaac was just as kind of a shorthand to explain the dungeon crawling aspect. Basically, our goal on a floor-by-floor basis is to get the best loot possible and also survive. We should have taken a better gun, I think. To get the best loot possible, but also survive. In terms of like the actual gunplay, it's pretty good. But what you might be wondering is, you know, it looks like I'm hitting with a lot of these shots. Why are they missing? Getting some more scalps here. Also, why am I not holding on to absolutely everything? I'm not holding on to absolutely everything because must have been a trap or something in here, yeah. Because we can't hold on to absolutely everything. Disarm that. Disarm that. We need to be very cautious. Well, not even cautious, but we need to be very conservative with our inventory. Oh, God! Because there's just not enough space to hold absolutely everything that we've got here. We'll loot these lockers, though, see if we can get something. Blue jumpsuit, minus 10% damage from explosions. What's blue ox? It's a consumable, increases your speed. Sturdy. Consumable, reduces knockback. Metastim, can't hold it. We need a little bit more space. Okay, that's fine. We don't need any of this junk anyway. That's great graffiti. I thought it, oh, you only die once. I get it, Yodo. At first I thought it said Yoda. I'm not the world's most passionate man, but when you teach me to use the Jedi powers, you are Yoda. Poopin' pills. Reduces the duration of future food comas by 75%. Let's hold it just in case, but I don't know, man. Probably, my guess is we'll never end up using it. So yeah, what I was gonna say is that the gunplay is... Oh, I got trapped in a flippin' bear trap. Maybe you just gotta stand here and wait for it to end. The gunplay is like Fallout. You know, you have an accuracy stats that influences your ability to actually hit enemies. I'm probably missing a lot of loot, by the way. The loot is like my least integral part of the game for me personally. I normally don't find myself that motivated by loot. And this game's not really an exception so far, but that's a personal kind of quirk. And there's enough cool stuff going on here to keep me happy regardless. Okay, if you're wondering, like, you're missing, like, why I'm making the decisions I'm making with inventory management, don't worry about it right now. Basically, if they don't have stuff that is objectively better for me, then I don't really care about it right now. By the way, when it says hunted, basically there's a... I think it's called the Syndicate of Buzzkills. This game is, I mean, it's all about getting wasted, right? There's a gang called the Syndicate of Buzzkills that comes into these coolers to try to stop people, that's a trap, from stealing the alcohol. So if we spend too much time on any given floor, they will hunt us down, and they're apparently really, really strong, but I've never actually encountered one, so... The Fallout vibe is definitely clear, by the way. You know, there's consumables that feel like cram or feel like, you know, Danny Boy apples or something like that. And the gunplay is not dissimilar as well, although it's absent the existence of VATS. But I actually feel like, at least so far, the dungeon crawling stuff in the dungeons... Oh, it's a trap. I set off a trap because I'm an idiot. The dungeon crawling stuff feels okay, and I'm normally not into, like... I'm not too into first-person roguelite stuff. You know, I've made some exceptions. Let's take some food here. I've made some exceptions. You know, I've played, like, a little Paranautical Activity, and I've played a little Tower of Guns, but, normally I'm not that into it, but for whatever reason, I find this one kind of tickling my fancy more than average. No medical record on file, so nothing of value in here, I guess, unless there's something dope in that locker, which there isn't. But the really impressive lair is how ambitious this is. Oh, there's a trap. Is how ambitious this is from, like, an RPG standpoint. And right now, you're gonna think that I'm, like, selling it too hard, or that, you know, I don't know what I'm talking about. But I assure you, I do know what I'm talking about, and you'll see when we get out there. There's a real, almost like jazz-punky lair of RPG and dialogue and stuff. No, less Malamutes, please. The courier box can be used as a means of transferring items to and from the cooler. Any item placed in the courier box can be accessed from any other courier box, whether it be in the cooler or at your home. So this allows us to store stuff that we might not care about right now. We might as well store all of our scalps for now. And I think we should store our trap and probably our pooping pills, because at home we have more space to store things. And we'll keep everything else for now. Is that ammo? Sometimes there's valuable stuff over here. Yeah, rifle ammo, pistol ammo, safety pants. We don't need those. I mean, I guess presumably we should loot everything in this room and then send it back home. But for right now, I honestly don't really care. There we go. You do more damage based on where you hit enemies as well. Some of them die more easily from being hit at certain points of the game, or certain points than others. Like, for example, humans, if you shoot them in the head, tend to take a lot of damage. But yeah, I think instead of, like, trying to push our luck and go as far as we possibly can in this dungeon, just to keep it within the constraints of, like, a normal let's look at, if I find alcohol on this floor, which is our objective, then I'll leave and I'll go back to the area where maybe we can interact with some NPCs. Oh my god, Pounder, get out of here, man. Where we can interact with some NPCs, so you can sort of see the other layer that goes on in the game. Where Gucker Paul? Paul, stupid asshole Paul, where is Paul, where is he? Wrong at twit, sir, I'm bigger now, I have a project for you, getting your ass kicked by me. Sorry, let's see what the second message says here. Know this, in the toilet, fight me punk, fight me punk, fight me punk, fight me punk. Okay, the next reply. Not in the toilet, went to toilet, coward, toilet coward. This is, I mean, the whole premise of the game is that the radiation leaked in here and everyone just got wasted and died, so the dialogue seems to make sense right now. There all day, 2M, going back to the toilet now, fight you in the toilet. Okay, the resolution must be quickly approaching. Cuff JJJJJ, liar, scared coward, not there to the toilet, put my hands in the toilet, make sure, not in the water, wasn't you, darker, smellier, didn't put up much fight, easy win. So this man touched his other man's poop. Men in a room of toilet, not inside toilet, going back to now, pull your head off. All right. I like the idea that all of these messages are just between one dude and himself, and he doesn't realize it. Okay, let's sneak up on this trap and disarm this. It also feels a little bit like this is reaching way back, but visually it feels like 13, that game from like 2003, where you know, David Duchovny voiced the character and it was cel-shaded like this. I also should point out, like, for whatever reason... Oh, it's already empty. This game doesn't make me motion sickness. Or doesn't make me motion sick, I should say. Which has been a problem for me in first-person kind of roguelike-ish stuff before. But for whatever reason, it doesn't really happen. I guess it's because it has maybe a different FOV. Ooh. We do have some alcohol here. I don't want to drink it yet, though, because then if we drink it right away, this will give us a hangover, which means we finish the mission. Basically, as soon as you drink alcohol, you're done with the dungeon. So it has this cool kind of like, whoa, this cool kind of like roguelike-ish thing going on where there's like a risk-reward. You could obviously finish a dungeon early, as soon as you find some alcohol, a couple of floors deep, and then probably get a negative stat bonus, but at least be able to save your loot and get out of the dungeon quickly. But if you go, you know, another 3 or 4 floors deep into the dungeon, you might actually be able to find, normally there's enemies in here, yeah. If you go another 3 or 4 floors deeper into the dungeon, you might be able to find better alcohol that actually allows you to get stronger for the future. Like, gives you a permanent stat bonus, I should say. We used our can openers on this door, which basically means that we used lockpicks when we totally did not have to. But for convenience's sake, oh, this is enemies getting close. Ammo can sometimes be a bit of a sacred resource as well. Like, I haven't really had to deal with it so far, but we've actually gained ammo since we've been down here, but there can be times where you lose it. There's a little bit of a stealth element in the game as well. You know, you can see the hidden caution, like danger indicator up at the top, much like you get in Fallout. Again, it's obviously something that wears its inspiration on its sleeve. Help, help, help. But we may one day find ourselves closing in on running out of ammunition. I mean, we only have 31 left now, but if we ever get any more, we're feeling pretty good, probably. We can't take the metastim because we're already stacked on it. Message, green stuff. The green stuff's good. I drank one and grew an extra finger, and I'm not talking about on my hands. That's a good segue into talking about the tone of the game a little bit. I do feel like, you know, some people are going to watch this, and they're going to be like, this is super immature. That is, like, 100% your right to think that. It is immature, but it's actually surprisingly smart in the way that it's written as well. Like, I guess it's self-aware is what I mean to say. It might seem like right now it's going like haha poop haha farts, but there's actually like a certain level of sophistication in the crudeness that I've found. Like, just the idea that someone that you encounter is... Got a ninth scalp there. That one of the NPCs you encounter is, you know, Richard Nixon. Oh, that was very dumb of me. Richard Nixon, only his dick is Henry Kissinger. That's like, it tickles my funny bone, because it's like, it's referential to something in history. I guess we'll just jump over the bear trap. But oh, there's another bear trap. But is also, we're in a food coma for a while. Okay, probably makes us more sluggish, I guess. I've never eaten the food before. That makes sense. But is also, like, scatological in its own unique way. It's got, like, almost like a Mel Brooksian sort of vibe there. We got 10 scalps. You know what? I bet if we really search for it, we can probably get enough scalps to finish that quest and get some dialogue with man whose penis is Henry Kissinger. Alright, let's, I mean, this is the courier box again, so we could put our stuff in here. But there is also, like, the alcohol that we can choose to drink now. Can we not quite get enough scalps? I forget how many we had before. Let's see if we can explore a little bit more and get some more before I run out. I'll use a can opener, but... Oh, we're getting low! And also, oh, Suicide Raider. We're getting close to being hunted. I think we have 18, or we actually are hunted already. We have 18 scalps combined, I think, which means we need 7 more. Oh, that is not a raider. That is actually a zombie. We got enough HP. I'm not worried about this right now. And you know what? I've never seen the dude that's hunting us. I stepped in the radiation. I've never seen the dude that's hunting us, so I would like to. Knockout IPA, so there's some more alcohol. We're holding 15 out of 16 items. Let's take an empty syringe. Maybe we can sell it, I guess. And let's use a metastim to heal up a little bit. Come on, just a few more Raiders of the Lost Ark. We're not quite going to be able to make it, are we? That's a shame, because I really want to see what this dialogue looks like, but based on our map, I don't know if we're going to be able to. Like I said, we could keep going a little further into the dungeon for better rewards, but also higher risk. But I'm going to choose not to do this, just because it's risky. And also, we'd start to have like these 45-minute or an hour-long dungeon crawls, and I'd rather show off a little bit of the RPG layer as well. Drink, explosive sidecar. Killing enemies will cause them to explode. We get our choice here. This is basically like choosing an item from A Deal with the Devil. Reduces maximum HP by 1 HP, so this one's actually a penalty, at least for now. Lightweight lager. You move faster but get knocked back a lot more. Or, Your movement speed is reduced by 5%. Let's try explosive sidecar. Killing enemies will cause them to explode. So that completes basically one dungeon run in Wasted as of right now. We'll wake up in our bed with a hangover and having completed no side quests, but we can now move everything. Oh wait, I don't want to. Sorry, I want to take this back. I've made a horrible mistake. But we can move everything that we want to over here. Everything that we don't think we're going to use, like more scalps. Like now we have 13, but also... Oh, I got to go back to the courier thing to get my other one. Okay, put that over there, put that over there. Take the bum bag back. Okay, we'll just hold on to this. I want to keep everything that gives me the chance to get more... inventory space. We'll deposit some more TP. We already have 162 in the bank. Now we have 294. It's all about like making sure that you don't give yourself the chance to lose your resources. Although we can use that TP to buy weapons and stuff. I'm assuming, at least. There's a crafting table over there, but let's just get out of here. And I'll head to the only settlement that I'm aware of right now. Actually, because it's a little late, why don't we sleep in our bed so it's daytime so I don't have to worry about the lighting or anything like that. Let's go sleep until noon, which is like 18 hours of sleep. No big deal. I don't know if there's different enemies or different things that you'll see depending on the time of the day, but it's certainly possible, I suppose. Is there anything in this? Nope, metal box is empty. And here's our courier box. So let's just actually take our scalps from here, and the pooping pills and the tripping hazards, and we'll go put them in our stash here and move on. So yeah, I mean, what has really impressed me the most about Wasted so far, and it's not a sponsored video or anything like that, although, you know, we do have access to the game in advance, so you should actually have, I guess, some skepticism about that. Let's equip our bum bag here as well, and okay, we got a lot of inventory space now. But it's not like it's for sale or anything yet anyway, but what's impressed me about it so far is really the fact that it feels, despite, you know, still being in production, of course, in development, really, really well done. Like, this feels like a game that is, like, fairly robust, even in its current state. I mean, you'll hear a lot of the same dialogue over and over from these NPCs. I've actually never been over here to Gin and Gout. What do you have for me?
Welcome to the Gin and Gout. We got the swills that kill, and they have too.
You'll see where this is where the dialogue comes in.
That stench is the signature Gin and Gout smell. Locals out here can't get enough of it. Folks say you can smell it from a mile away. 2 on warmer days, just 30 sheets for a handmade cocktail. Any which way you want it.
Alright, so for 30 TP, I guess we can make a drink. The cocktails of the Gin and Gout may be watered down, but they'll grant you powerful buffs that'll last an entire cooler run. Each combination of booze mixer and preparation method will yield different effects, so experiment and find out which works best for your playstyle. You can also ask the bartender about the special mixer of the day, which confers one of the many buzz effects you usually find by drinking an unmarked flask. Those are like potions, basically, where you don't know what they do until you drink them. The mixer of the day changes daily, so be sure to ask the bartender what's on tap. I don't have enough TP on me. Yes. What's the mixer of the day? Here's what we got on tap. Oh, we actually see what it is in advance for these. Restores 3 HP every 10 seconds. In the cooler, that would actually be awesome. But I don't want anything right now. Thank you, though. This is very nice. What about you? Vulture Val.
I bet this out like, hey, welcome to the mall. Well, like, my name is Vulture Val, and like, I run the store on behalf of my gang, the Culture Vultures.
Okay, I'm gonna turn it up a little bit. I think it's a little too quiet. The music is gonna get very loud, possibly.
Totally ick name for sure. But my girls and I provide the Western Waste with like the best, recollected junk for like the lowest prices.
Alright, so basically she gives us, she's a vendor. We can buy a portable music player that can read music and data off of discs and tune into radio stations. Allows you to listen to the radio +1 carry limit. That could be fun for being in those dungeons, I guess. Grenades, metastim, a bunch of ammo. So I guess this is where we'll go if we find ourselves in a bad place for an ammo perspective. But let's go meet Richard Nixon and Henry Kissinger. They're not going to be happy that we don't have all the scalps yet. We could have got them on that mission, but I wanted to keep this sort of like, you know, finished within a timely fashion as well. So they should be in here. Yep, there they are.
Welcome back, idiotic child. We're here to help you get ahead in the wastes. What can we do for you?
Kiss and jerk about that private matter.
It is done.
It is not done.
Please return upon fulfillment of your duty and no sooner. As you can see, I am a busy man.
Alright, he's not happy with me.
Welcome back.
What's about the waste? What can you tell me about... Oh, there's a lot here. What can you tell me about Barstown, which I think is where we are?
Barstown. Small place. Mean place. It is as advertised, and there's not a great deal there, but what's in the name? In terms of the regional economy, their major import is booze, and their major export is very dilute urine and bumbling inebriated pinheads. They make them tough, though. In case you ever meet a Barstown boy, don't underestimate them. Physically, at least. Mentally, they're even more deficient than the rest of you.
Constant inebriation does not tend to make men acute.
Between the low-level drunkards, the chimps, and the service men, it takes a special kind of brainless oaf.
I guess that's not where we are.
And that kind is tough as a 1 TP snake steak. See, not only is Barstown a major stop on Route 666, but it was home to a number of large military installations.
Sweet. I really just wanted to come in here and, oh, no. I really just wanted to come in here and show you that the game is not just about, you know, getting as far as you possibly can in the dungeon. Like, this guy, this is the guy who's trying to get Asuka back. But there's really, like, it is kind of like an indie Fallout in its weird way. And I mean, like I said 100 times, it clearly wears, like, its inspiration on its sleeve. But, this guy asked me to help out some settlements. I'm going to be real disappointed. But it is an RPG. It's an RPG where the actual gameplay doesn't take place necessarily in the open world. It takes place in the coolers. But apart from that, it's a pretty, like, open-ended experience. It's got a lot of narrative kind of humor, I guess, going on with the jazz punk element, as you can probably guess from the absurdity of this gentleman right here. But also, it's got that kind of, like, roguelike-ish dungeon crawling charm that I'm actually quite fond of. I'm really interested and actually, like, impressed with the way that the game looks and plays so far. And it's got a little bit more ambition, I think, than a lot of indie games I end up playing, which I tend to play a lot of them. Which is not meant as a slight, because sometimes you can go a little bit too far on the other end and be a little bit more maximal than to the point where it feels kind of overblown. But this is, like, it's kind of hitting the right notes right now. And of course, is this my bathroom? Or can we, like, build furniture and you hear it later or something? But, of course, you know, it's still in development. Anything could possibly happen. But as of right now, this is a really, really interesting game. It feels, I know I said this about 10 times, it feels ambitious. It feels really good, and it feels like a good mixture of roguelike-ishness and kind of RPG elements as well. It's interesting. Anyway, for now, this is Wasted. I know basically nothing about it, except for the fact that it's published by Adult Swim. I don't know when it comes out. I don't know how much it's going to cost. But I do know that I'm interested in it, and in terms of, like, the roguelike-ish FPS kind of thing that's happening here, it's one of the better games I've played so far, at least in terms of, you know, conceptually. In execution, also pretty impressive so far, but, you know, hopefully it continues to get better throughout development, and hopefully you've enjoyed the video. I'll put a link in the video description below to maybe hit up the game's website if you want to check out more information about it. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. It helps out a great deal, and of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. Again, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.